dude from Necros.
Yeah, he plays drums. Yeah.
That's what I'm like.
And our sound guy on this tour is the guitar player. So they're all here, pretty much, except for Luca. Yeah.
We are all set. Let's go. I'm gonna hit you with this one. Explaining. Well, fuck that. Give me a story that you find very memorable. Something funny that happened along the way of playing with Full of Hell. Maybe basement shows or something crazy like that.
I mean, 3 days ago, this kid. Actually, I don't know if it was a kid. 3 days ago, we were playing in Chicago, and 2 songs in, I just saw something fly onto the stage. I thought it was a beer can, and it was a dead, gutted rat. Someone threw it on stage, and it landed on Spencer's pedals and shit, and guts went all over his set list and his pedals, and he kicked the rat. And we never figured out who did the rat, but I was holding the rat up, showing people, and it's kind of sad. And I guess since that's a mini episode or whatever, the other one that ties into it is back in 2015, some crusty kids were hitching up to Death Fest, and we were playing Nashville, and they showed up at the show, and they had a kidney in a bag, and they traded us a kidney for a t-shirt. Pretty weird.
What did you do with the kid?
Threw it out. But you have to trade it. It's cool. It's pretty funny. I think they probably took it out of, my guess is maybe like a butcher shop dumpster, maybe? Like a full process butcher shop, maybe? Or maybe like a hunter's trash can or something. I don't know where else the fuck, I don't know where they get a kidney. So.
Yeah, that sounds like some black shit. I guess.
Yeah.
That sounds like
definitely crusty. Definitely some Google shit.
So just last thing, just talk to me. Don't talk to this thing.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah. Okay, so give me one more story. Just something weird that's happened.
Fuck that. I had the same problem as Dave.
You want me to pull that one back?
Can I just think about it for a sec? Yeah, just like I'll think about it for a second. Just my brain is like mush. Fuck. Yeah, I guess come back to it. I don't even know.
No, it's good. Okay, so explain the feeling that you have playing original material in front of people. I mean, dude, I'll be honest with you. I've never seen a frontman go so all out.
Thanks. That's very nice.
I've seen hundreds of bands.
Yeah.
A lot of extreme bands.
I can think of a few maniacs.
Yeah, I mean, you go in, man. What's your?
Playing original material. You know, I've only ever played like a couple covers in my life, so I don't really have anything to compare to in that context. Playing is like the most joyful, cathartic experience in my life that I've like as far as like something to do, like an action. That's like, I don't know. Most of touring kind of sucks. Like traveling. I mean, there's a novelty for traveling for sure, but it sucks being away from your family, and it sucks being away and like being tired and uncomfortable and in weird places. But like the 30 or 40 minutes that we play, it's been like, from the moment I played my first show, it's like all I wanted to do. I think I started playing shows when I was like 13 or something, and I quit every other hobby I had. Like I quit Boy Scouts and band and and orchestra and all that shit, which is kind of silly. I shouldn't have quit all that stuff, but all I wanted to do was play shows. That's it. So every weekend I could, when I had a band that played shows, I would play shows every weekend. And when I graduated high school, I booked my first tour for my first band, and we toured did this horrible 9-day tour around PA and Ohio, and it was the best time ever. And then, you know, I just figured out how to keep touring. And now I'm 32 and I'm still touring somehow. It's really lucky. Yeah, it's a blessing.
So you said that you toured for so many years. I mean, how does it? You said you're grateful, but I mean, just in general, what is the feeling when you wake up? Like, do you feel like this is your purpose?
Yeah, I think we all feel like that. It's like, you know, it's something we clung to like so seriously for so long. Your perspective on things does kind of change. I mean, I love playing music, but I love other things. You know, I love my family. I love print work. I love, you know, being at home doing nothing and not talking to anybody. So I think like all things in balance. But yeah, we love it. I don't know.
It's important, dude. Family honestly has not been brought up in the documentary, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the more you talk to, you'll find there's a lot of bands, you know, with like serious bands that are well balanced humans.
Yeah, and I feel like being a touring individual, that's really fucking intense. Like you have to balance it.
Thank God Full of Hell doesn't tour. We have this like, I think I call it like an illusion because everybody I talk to anywhere I go is like Full of Hell tours so much. So you tour so much. That's like always the statement. We don't tour that much. At the most we tour like 3 months a year, which is like a lot, but like that's like there's 9 other months in the year. So I mean it feels like a lot for us too, but we have a lot of peers that tour like way more than we do. So I think it's a nice illusion to like look busy but not be busy.
So, describe your personality growing up. Did you picture yourself being a frontman in an extreme metal band, being a kid? Or?
I mean, I don't know about extreme metal band, I guess, but when I was in elementary school, we had a fake band called Satan's Penis. We didn't play instruments or anything, but we thought it was like super evil and cool sounding. So I mean, I always was into bands. My parents are super into music. My personality was the same as it is now. I try to be less obnoxious because I was always like a class clown and I can never shut up, and I still am like that. So I mean, quieter maybe, but the same as I was when I was a little kid. I'm living in an environment personally and professionally where I'm afforded the opportunity to just be who I am. And when you like receive gratitude or when you receive like good praise for your art or whatever, it like lifts you up like self-esteem wise. And I think everybody in the band has like owes a lot of their self-esteem and ego, because everybody's got ego, to this thing that's given so much to us. So when you're confident, I think you're like more in your own shoes, and you act like yourself. I've never felt a pull to act like anybody else.
So this is going to be a crazy one. Not really, but how has this style made a significant positive impact on your life today?
How's what?
How has this style of music made a significant positive impact on your life today?
Let's see. All my friends in the world, pretty much. My wife, who I met at a show, like it pays my bills, pretty much now. And it exposes me to other mediums. Like I've met artists that paint and videographers and like just tons of talented people in other ways, and it just exposes me. It's allowed me to travel all over the world. So culturally, it's given me a lot. I don't know. It's also like the most important thing I think is that like I think human beings have this like really serious innate pull a lot of times to like want what they don't have, like what's on the other side of the fence, and they think like I think you're just naturally curious and you naturally think like, well, that might be better. But this band allows me to like travel all over and see how experiences are the same all over the world. And like the only real difference for me personally, just I'm not saying this is like a blanket statement, but for me personally, the only difference is like the people that I like care about a lot. They live in Pennsylvania. I don't want to leave Pennsylvania. I'm cool with living in the middle of fucking nowhere because I've seen cities and I get to see stuff and like it's no different, So I don't know. It's made me like grateful for my home too. Like the balance allows me to appreciate both. Because I also think you can't have like a constant regular kind of like leads you to like a malaise, You just kind of, like that episode of SpongeBob where Squidward goes to the Squid Village. You know what I'm talking about? No?
No, I do. SpongeBob is my fucking show.
Yeah, it's still my show. But, yeah, like he just gets really depressed. It's the same every day. He's everything he wants. It's dark.
I was going to say, like, I live literally, my neighbor's is a fucking cornfield.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, fuck, man, I wish I was closer to shows.
I mean, I get that.
But sometimes I'm
it's
like,
valid.
Okay, am I going to be able to get my dirt bike out and just like...
Oh, you got a bike?
Yeah.
What kind of bike do you have?
It's like a Suzuki. I don't even
That's
know
cool.
the exact
Cool.
model.
Nice.
But it's right around town.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. I got a Honda with like definitely a super expired plate and no registration, and it doesn't matter. Like if I lived in a city, it'd probably matter a little bit.
Yeah. That's so much fun. I don't know what to say more about dirt bikes other than the fact that they're amazing.
Yep, amazing, dangerous.
Yeah.
little
I broke
machines.
my fucking hand on
That
it.
sucks,
Look
man.
at that.
See, I took a spill like a year ago or 2 years ago. I was like coming down this really steep grade, and they had just thrown a ton of gravel on it for some. It was deep, like the parks people did it. It's like way up in this park, and I ate shit going like 40 miles an hour, and I was wearing a helmet, but like no other actual gear. So I like front flipped over the bike and like bent my foot back. Definitely like tore a tendon, some important tendon. It took like a year and a half for my foot to feel okay. Just a little scuffed up otherwise, but I was just like, fuck, man, I can't afford to break my arm.
Yeah, my brother's just getting recovered from a torn ACL. So we're all getting fucked up by bikes.
Yeah,
But,
that's sick.
2 more. And then,
Still trying to think of that story.
Oh, you're good. You good for 2 more?
Yeah, I just got pissed really fucking bad.
Cool. That's okay, yeah. Okay. You sure? Yeah, I'm good.
Alright.
Thank you.
I'll see you downstairs. My bad, dude. I just fucked.
I was like, this man looks like he has to piss or something.
Yeah, he's like dancing. Poor guy.
Oh.
Worst feeling.
Alright. A couple more here. Alright. Do you recall the moment that you picked up a specific album or movie that got you into the darker realm of music?
I guess the story I always refer to, when I was 14, I went to a show in a Mennonite school church, and we had a local band in my hometown that was like, kind of like pretty extreme. It sounded like Cryptopsy, maybe like Fetus kind of. And of course like a little metalcore like every local band of that era. But it was pretty extreme shit. That really opened my mind. But at that show, this other band played called Robinson, and they were like pretty much just like, you know, just a 10-minute set of just blasting. You know, it was pretty like extreme, especially at 14 in a gym where it's just like, it was so sick, and it was like everything I wanted in music, you know, because I was into punk and I was into some death metal and stuff, but like, you know, pretty middle of the lane stuff. That was so extreme to me at the time. That was a big one. And like film wise, I don't know, I guess lately I was thinking again about this movie Begotten. It's like a 1990s like kind of cult sort of horror film about killing God. That was like pretty impactful. I thought that was pretty crazy shit. And you know, I've revisited as an adult and it's still pretty sick. But I think that got me into some more extreme mediums, you know. That was a good one. Oh, Gummo was a huge one too. Have you ever seen Gummo?
No, but I was gonna say The Shining.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorites for sure. But that didn't like expose me to music. I mean, the soundtrack's amazing, but like extreme music culture, Gummo was a big deal. The soundtrack's pretty sick.
Yeah, I'll have to check
Yeah,
that out.
it's good. Gummo's a Harmony Korine movie. I don't remember what year it came out. You were probably really young, but it's kind of a fucked up movie, as his movies are, and the soundtrack's got a lot of like metal, black metal kind of leaning.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Alright, so I like this one. So what are some things that you need to evaluate before committing to a serious tour heavy band? Is it an easy process to succeed in the music industry?
Oh, this is gonna be awful. No, it's not easy to succeed in the music industry. I think it's foolish to play the game. And I think my best advice would be to do it when you're young, because it's more socially acceptable and possible to be broke as fuck when you're young than it is when you're in your 30s or something and you actually have like responsibilities. We started Full of Hell when Dave was like 15 years old. We were like all kids. I was like 19, Spencer was 19. But you know, I was like a fresh college dropout. You know, and it was possible for me and us and all of us to survive because, you know, we were just like losers living at home working like simple jobs when we got home, and it wasn't as big of a deal. But it took like years and years and years, and like we just loved it so much that every step of the process was amazing for us at the time. And like I would say that's really important too. I always get really confused if I talk to someone that's like so goal oriented that they're looking at this destination, and I just like it's an illusion, you know what I mean? So I think it's important to love it even if it gives you nothing but the opportunity to play, because I think it's kind of silly to expect more of it. And I also think that like if you lean too heavily on like someone else's parameters for what success means, I think it kind of goes against like the meaning of art in the first place, and it like sucks the soul out of it. So I think you gotta like, it's kind of ironic because if you want to tour and stuff, you gotta think about stuff. You gotta think about filling the gas tank and keeping everybody healthy and eating and well and whatever. But I think you have to do everything you can to like lean away from it at the same time. It's paradoxical.
But I think one of the coolest things that you said to me in person or on the podcast, you said something like that you said it multiple times in a row. So I was like, this man means it. He's like, I don't like. How did you word it? You were like, we're just nobodies. Like you kept saying and kind of like that. Like,
yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, I don't know.
How did you word it?
I don't remember, but I know what the sentiment was. I mean, I just cringe when I meet bands that like have like airs, like they think they're like special because they're in a metal band that like plays shows and they're people that some people come to see them. Like, okay, cool, you're like living a fucking child's life, like, which is what I'm doing. I'm literally living like a, super lucky that I actually get to do a band like this, but like, I don't like when they have bad attitudes. It's like you're like living a fucking easy life. You could live anywhere else in the world and have no opportunity to have done this in the first place. You could be destined to work in a factory all of your life. You know what I mean? Like, count your blessings. I just don't like the ego. Kind of bums me out. That's like just something I just don't like. So I think it's important to remember that you're just a fan, just like all the people that come to see you. You should just be part of the audience. It's like, that's like a hardcore ethos though. So I think.
Yeah. All right, two more. So, what excites you about the evolution of extreme music and how like noises get involved in it? Yeah, the evolution of extreme music. What excites you about it right now?
I don't know how much I've seen it evolve, to be honest. I mean, like, we're like far from the first band to put like electronic sounds into guitar music. There's like a lot of bands that have come before us. I like that it's at the state it's in because I think it's interesting to see what kind of sound you can make if you're not like limited to that classic like rock band lineup. I like seeing bands with like a horn player, like not ska, but like like a Brain Bombs type thing or something. We had a saxophone player for a little while just because we liked that band. So I don't know. I get excited when I see bands that don't really care about like what the rules are for whatever genre they're ascribing to. Like even just in the way they just carry themselves. If a band rolls up and they're just wearing normal ass clothing and they look like nerds and they look like they don't have any friends, I'm like this band's gonna be sick. You know what I mean? I don't think there should be like a visual identity or a sound identity or like rules. So that's what excites me. It's just like doing exactly what you want, I guess.
Story.
Dude, I don't know.
Oh, that's good.
It just sucks because I know there's like a million dumbass stories.
That's good. All right, last thing. What is the most rewarding part about doing things DIY with your band? I mean, bring up the fact that you learned how to screen print too. That's really.
So yeah, DIY, very rewarding. I just think it's important to be involved with your art as much as you can be. I think the reward is understanding the process and like getting to see it come to fruition via your own hands. You know what I mean? And I don't think working with other people is like against DIY either. I think like it's cool to hire people and allow your friends to be involved in the process as well. But it's just cool, whether as community or whether as one person, you're able to keep it all love, And yeah, screen printing has given me a lot too. I think it's like a key, one of the like probably primary keys of doing DIY music and even art in general. I think, if you own the means of production, like that's 101, So the printing press, very sick. If it was easier to get pressing equipment for vinyl, I think, that'd be pretty wild too. That's like incredibly expensive. But yeah, the best thing an artist can do is own the means, The labels don't really matter, especially nowadays. Like everybody has access to everything. They're just a check to get stuff manufactured. So if there's a way around it and you can hold it in your own hands the whole way, I think it's just like that's going to be so much more meaningful, especially because like I was saying, like this shit's not real. Like no band lasts forever, no band stays good forever. Like it's going to end, you're going to die. You might as well do it the right way. Do it yourself. Don't like make it cheap by letting some fucking corporation touch it. So that's my thoughts on DIY, I guess.
Honestly, I think it's funny that you say that. Just the fact that the bigger bands, like they're like, hey, you should. I don't know if they get the hands in the music itself, like direction. Oh man, that's the worst.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, like that's another thing though is the type of music we play, like whatever you want to call it. It's not marketable. It would be such a hilarious joke to like even go for it, and then someone's gonna fucking ruin it and make it terrible on top of that. So I just think it would be foolish to pursue that path for a lot of people, especially people that play extreme music. I just think it's foolish. Like, do everything you can, but like, don't give away your shit to someone who doesn't care. Don't allow like people that aren't passionate, at least to a degree, you know, work with you. I don't like working with people. I don't like trying to convince people to work with us. I don't know. I just don't like the anonymity of it. I like to work with our friends. So, and we've made compromises over the years, working with people that we don't know, and you know that's how you make new friends. But I don't know. As time goes on and we get older, I just see that like there's probably a lot more inherent value, you know, monetarily and you know spiritually to keeping it in house. So that's usually the goal.